fix it. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we are going to go over why a guy, when everything is going well, everything's going great, you are being stimulated in so many ways, emotionally, sexually, physically, mentally, spiritually, everything's going well on both sides, and then all of a sudden, he starts to ignore you. Not pull away, but ignore you, okay? Well, we're going to talk about both of those in here. We're going to say they're the same thing. They're absolutely not, but we're going to interchange the context here with those words, okay? So if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below. I love you forever, along with the bell notification if you want to get my videos right away. And if you want to work with yours truly, get my course, Traction Academy. Links are down below. So I want to jump right into this and talk about the main reason, like the main reason, like the umbrella that everything kind of hovers under. And the main reason a guy ignores a woman out of nowhere, I would say, is pressure. Now, that could mean many different things. That could be pressure of you being fucking crazy. That could be pressure of him having to make a choice. You know, maybe he's a man-child. Pressure of maybe he's emotionally unavailable and he feels like this is a little too fat. Pressure in some, you know, again, maybe you went on the deep end and you're blowing up his shit and you're freaking him out. In some way, it's pressure. But let me tell you my definition, not really definition, but let me explain what it most likely is, okay? So, it's context, meaning it's the layering of what you guys do and what you guys say, or maybe the absence of those things, that determine the atmosphere and the vibe of the relationship. So for example, if you guys are talking a lot, texting a lot, blowing up each other's shit, you've been talking for 3 months, you're doing it consistently, you're having sex, doesn't have to be all these things, just a mixture of these, whatever, or all, whatever. You're introducing each other to friends and family, future planning, going on long trips together, staying at his house, you know, for weekends, you know, leaving shit over there, whatever it is, okay? It starts to create this vibe, this seriousness of the relationship. And it's mentally grabbing his brain saying, hey, let's go this way. Like, this is where we're going, down relationship road. And if the guy is not necessarily emotionally available and or ready and or does not see you long term, well, now there's kind of a dilemma. He's saying, even though I like this girl, or even though blah, 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 I feel like if I am complying, it's telling her I'm on the same page as her when I might not be. So now this is where a guy goes into like the self-reflection stage on, should I stay or should I go? And, you know, and he just kind of just deciphers it with taking all this context into consideration on what's best for him, if it's an asset or a liability to stay or go. And this is where sometimes a guy will either ignore you because he's a man-child, and or he will try to negotiate. Hey, I don't like a relationship, but I don't want you out of my life. Can you please keep talking to me? Let's see where it goes. Some buying time shit, right? And that's usually what happens. And women are like, well, that still doesn't explain, Elliot, why he shows so much interest in the beginning and now he's ignoring me. Like, if he knew he didn't want a relationship in the beginning. Well, that's because in the beginning, there wasn't that pressure. There wasn't a cost. I hate saying it like that, but there wasn't a cost, aka liability. And liability isn't always a bad thing. It's just, I'll explain it. There wasn't a cost for him obtaining these resources or these assets. And assets doesn't mean sex. It could be many things. It could be, hey, I like you and I like the way you make me feel, so why would I not want to be around you, type of thing. Assets could be many things. It could be sexual, it could be filling a void, it could be validation, it could be you boost his ego, he thinks you're really hot and out of his league, it could be he actually genuinely likes you, he thinks you're a great person, he likes the way you make him feel, you make him want to be it could be any, he feels like his life is better with you in it than without. It could be many things. But In the beginning, it's easy to go after this kind of stuff and not think about the consequences or liabilities because the context wasn't created. There's no reason for him to freak out in the beginning when the context wasn't created, so therefore the pressure was not created. But over time, things happen. You guys do things and you do them more often. You start to open up. The walls come down. You hook up, have fun, hang out, introduce each other to friends and family, future talk, blow up each other's shit all the time, whatever it is. And now the context is layering. There's a cost, and that cost to him is what I said. It's, well, I like her, but I feel like if I keep on complying and going along with this, it's telling her I'm on the same page as her when I might not be. And then that's where the guy does the self-reflection, like I just mentioned. Right? Now, that's not always the case, right? Sometimes a guy wants to see all that, and he wants to see that you're on the same page as him and transition over into a relationship. But this is a video about a guy ignoring you, and we're taking aside the obvious things, like maybe you went fucking on the deep end, maybe you guys keep on fighting, maybe you're annoying, maybe he's emotionally unavailable, maybe he's a man-child, whatever it is. And all of these in some way fall under the category of pressure, which is why I'm bringing it up, right? And I'm saying like that's the main culprit. So that's the first part of this video, the first question, why he doesn't. So then what are the many different reasons why a guy pulls away? Well, like I said, it could be pressure. It could be he's emotionally unavailable. It could be what he wanted. It can be it can be a variety of things, okay, reasons on why guys pull away. And usually it is more than one. And I tell women to find that out, you either have to get my course, because my course goes into detail on it. I have a video on there that talks about emotionally unavailability and if this guy's the right guy for a relationship. I even have a quiz on there to determine if the guy is emotionally ready for a relationship. But a lot of the times, the reason for it is not only the pressure, it is some type of emotional unavailability to some extent. Again, this is besides the fact that you went fucking crazy and you went on the deep end and you freaked him out or something, or you annoyed the hell out of him and he just has to cut you off, or you guys are always fighting and he's like, okay, you know what? I see her as more of a liability than an asset, and he cuts you off. And that's usually what it is. I know that sounds very harsh because a lot of women are like, wow, you know, what a great way to make it sound, Elliot. I'm replaceable. I'm so, he could just toss me to the side like that. Yeah, and that's the way you should be with him too. If you see someone as a liability in your life in any way, you kind of have to make better choices on what you're going to do. I mean, you're not going to keep that person in your life if there is some toxicity with them in there, if there is a liability with them in there. Now, when I say that, women, you need to understand that a guy will always commit to you under 3 reasons, and he has to believe these reasons, not you, him. He has to feel like you are in his league or higher. So if he's a 6, you have to be a 6 or up in his eyes. You have to be he has to believe that his life is better with you in it than without, and you have to make him want to be a better person or want to progress through life, right? Nothing's more boring than being with someone and being content. That's horrible, right? And you need to feel that about men. And for some reason, I know you're all watching this and you're like, I get it all the time. There's so many women who lower their standards to keep a guy around, and then you wonder why you're in the situation you're in. You're literally watching a video on a guy ignoring you, and I guarantee if this guy comes back around, a lot of you will fall right back in place. And that's the problem. And then women wonder why they're in the situations they're in. If a guy's ignoring you, I just had a client like this the other day. 2 clients actually, yesterday and the day before, where these guys were not deserving to be in these girls' lives, but because they like the guy so much, they let him. They give him the benefit of the doubt. And I said, your biggest problem is you let him back in line. Do not let him back in line. He can get back in line, but he has to start from the very end. You let him cut and get his place back. That is not okay, ladies. That distinguishes your value. That lowers your value in so many ways. It's not even funny. It makes a man think, well, why can't I do this? She isn't going to do shit about it. She hasn't done anything about it otherwise. You know, people will say, well, because you're not a shitty human being. That's not how that's not how people think. That is not how people think, and people don't understand that. Maybe I'm cynical, but that is not how people think. He's like, yeah, you're right, I'm not a shitty human. Like, people don't self-reflect enough, okay? So ladies, listen, if he's ignoring you, if you didn't go batshit crazy, it's probably because of some type of pressure, okay? Or he's just a man-child. And if it's not, and even if he is ignoring, and if he does ignore you, just don't let him back in that easily. He has to start from the very back of the line. Make him work, okay? Because if he doesn't, he won't value you. So with that being said, ladies, I love you all. Take care and peace.